Hi, I'm Rabbi Daniel Lappin, and I am thrilled to welcome you to our new series, Ask the Rabbi, here on Cornerstone. You ask the questions, and I give the answers. But it's not really me. I'm really just conveying to you ancient Jewish wisdom from our boss. Listen to this question. My wife and I love the young man courting our daughter. He's a longtime friend of our son, and he's been around our family for years. He's a good guy, and we'd love to have him as a son-in-law. But my daughter wants to break up. What should we do? Let me tell you, I understand this very well indeed. I have been involved in situations having to do with the romances of young men and women conducted within a biblical context for many years. And something very interesting is happening here. When I explored this a little more deeply and I spoke to the girl's parents, I discovered that this young man had been a friend of the girl's brother for years. He was always around the family. He was in their home all the time. As a matter of fact, turned out he didn't even have that close a relationship with his own family. He just loved spending time. And eventually he came to the parents and he said to them, "Would you mind if I dated your daughter?" And they said, "No, we like you. You've been around. We know you really well. You're a friend of our son. By all means, go ahead." And he then went and asked his friend, and the brother of the girl said, it's a bit weird, it feels weird, but go ahead, whatever. And they've been dating for 2 or 3 months, and the more the time goes by, the more infatuated he seems to be with her. I mean, he's already talking engagement. She wants out. She finds the time with him unappealing. She doesn't get excited about it. She looks at her watch waiting for dates to end. She dreads the arrival of it. She's not happy about this at all. And the parents asked me, they said, "Look, we really like him. We don't know she'll ever find anybody better. He's a good guy." Listen, you cannot ever run the risk of telling your child who to marry. You can't do that. Why? Because in the inevitable difficult times, particularly in the early years of marriage, sometimes later on, you never want a situation where a person says to himself, or even worse, to his spouse, "Look, if my parents wouldn't have made me marry you, I never would have married you." How awful would that be? Terrible thing. No, horrible. So I also told them something else. I said chapter 34 of the book of Genesis has Jacob and Leah's daughter Dinah being raped by Shem ben Hamor, a neighboring prince. Now, normally we know that when somebody rapes somebody else, heaven forbid, they want to just get away from the scene of the crime. I mean, David had a son and a daughter. Amnon raped Tamar, and Scripture says that he hated her with the same passion with which he loved her first. Yet here in chapter 34 of Genesis, it tells us that this horrible human being loved Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he wants to cleave to her and marry her. It's weird. What's going on? The clue are the extra words, daughter of Jacob, because we already knew she was the daughter of Jacob, right? At the beginning of chapter 34, it says, Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. So we know. Why does the verse have to tell us daughter of Jacob? To tell us that he was actually more in love with Jacob and the house of Jacob than he was with the girl. And the same thing is true here. Your daughter is sensitive to the fact that this guy, subconsciously, he may himself not even know it, but deep down, all he wants to do is be closely related to his best friend and to your family, and he sees marrying your daughter as the way to accomplish this. She is sensitive enough to realize that she isn't the object of his affections. Deep down, she's a tool for him to gain his desire to be part of your family. Don't make her marry him. I'm Rabbi Daniel Lappin, and I pray that God blesses you with good health and prosperity. The rest, that's up to you.